Hey y'all, hope all is well. I know it's February the 8th. I'm a little late, but I just wanted to come in and touch bases with you guys and share a little bit about the month, a little insight on the month of February, how it would be or whatnot. So, just to give a recap of when I was talking about the seasons and my past videos. Um, it's very important that you recognize what's going on, um, what season you're in, or what you're about to experience. Because when you understand what's to come, you understand what you're dealing with, then you're less likely to become frustrated. If you're less likely to become frustrated, you're less likely to question God and become angry with Him. Okay? So, not only that, but you're more equipped and you're able to better handle whatever you need to handle. So, what I've been noticing, some of the things that we're experiencing in February, if you're not already experiencing this, you will. So just brace yourself. I've been noticing a lot of things of the past are starting to return. A lot of hot and cold, a lot of back and forth, up and down, emotional issues are just high and low, high and lows. A lot of that. Been experiencing things returning from the past. So we're looking at the month. We're in February, right? We're in the second month of the year. 2 is for double. Now that if you look in the Prophet Dictionary, then 2 is basically about covenant. And it could also be about marriage and partnership. Not only that, I explained early on in my videos that a lot of things are hidden in plain sight. So you can also see what's around you, what spirits or what what things that you would encounter by also sometimes, not in every month, but sometimes you can look at the number of the month that if you the number will be able to kind of help you um what you experience. Like I talked about 2019 and it being a year of judgment and also a year of the fruit of the spirit and gifts. When you look at things like that, if you don't have a holiday or something specific events to kind of help you gauge it. Like for instance, you have Valentine's Day as well. So with Valentine's Day or whatnot, love is around, right? And although everybody might not be in relationships or may have different experiences and will have different experiences, um, we'll deal with some similar things. And also with it being a month of history. So a lot of things from the past are coming back up. So you're not dealing with things in the present. You're also dealing with things of the past. So I shared this early on that a lot of how my gift work is a lot of times I deal with things, and when I deal with things, then I know that's how I know God kind of let me see things first, and then it's to kind of help warn people what's to come. He'll give me revelation of what's to come, or it worked differently. I might experience it. He might just give me a word of knowledge. He might just openly start talking to me about it, or I might have to go through it, and then I'll be like, okay, this is what's going on with the people. So I know a lot of confusion is going on because we're trying to figure out, okay, why is it that I'm dealing with the things of the past? Why is it? And I'm coming to tell you that just because something come back up doesn't mean that you haven't dealt with it. Because things can very well come back up, and you could have very well dealt with that issue or that thing. So it's not just you. We are also experiencing it too. Things are coming back up. So I was like, okay, God, what's the deal? What's going on? Why are we starting to deal with the things of the past? And he was like, well, for one, I wanted to make sure that you guys didn't forget. And I'm like, I know y'all thinking like, okay, with some of the things that we have went through, particularly in our last season, I'm pretty sure I never forget. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, too, it's because we're also about to get another lesson, right? We're about to get tested. So, meaning, when you're about to get tested, things start to come back up. A review, right? Before you get tested, usually your teacher will give you a review of what's to come. So, like I said in previous videos, your test for last season, a lot of our tests was to not stop using our heart. You don't stop using your heart because you have a bad experience. Because a lot of us have to relearn what love is. And a lot of us have picked up bad examples, bad meanings, that is not even true, or not even what we thought it. Love is totally opposite of what we thought, because a lot of times people try to show us what love is, but it's actually wrong. And truthfully, like, love comes without conditions, but in reality, a lot of us love with conditions. Meaning we love people for what they can do for us, or what we think they can do for us, not because we truly love them. And a lot of times we think we love people and we really don't. And it's not until you so-called, quote-unquote, fall out of love with a person that you realize that, that wasn't love after all. That was just lust. You know what I mean? Like, and I say this because, think about it. When it comes to family, I'm going to give you a perfect example. When it comes to family, you love your family regardless of what they do. How they make you feel. They can make you mad one minute, and you still love them without conditions, regardless. Right? So, with that being said, when it comes to people outside our family that we really don't have to love, the minute that we don't have to deal with them and they out of our life or they out of our sight, you stop loving them. And I'm using it lightly because a lot of us use the word lightly because love is not what we is not what we think. Because every feeling that is more than a like, or I care about you, we automatically identify it with love, when it's really not that. And that's what I'm learning, to not be moved by certain things, by certain feelings. Because as you mature, you learn that your feelings fluctuate. Like I'm talking about now, how things of the past are starting to come back, reoccur. And you have to figure out what's triggering it. Why are you having these certain feelings? Why these emotions are coming back up? And I already told you why. Because you're about to be retested by this same thing. That's why it's coming back. But I'm talking about on the times that you don't have a voice, or God is not revealing to you why certain things are coming back up. You have to be able to look at patterns and figure out why things are coming up. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to seasons, they all come in due time. And it's the time and it's the place for everything. And it's always a pattern when it comes to dealing with things. And that will be a good indicator. So you can begin to start working with the triggers. Any triggers when it comes to fear or when it comes to whatever emotion that you're experiencing. But going back to love, when it comes to that, a lot of times we love people, or it's a ulterior motives, okay? It's not because we really love people. And because somebody asked me, is it possible for a person to be in love with more than one person or whatnot? And my opinion was no, you can't. You're going to love one more than the other. And that goes back to my point about when it comes to love, like, it's as I learn and as I experience different things, I learned that most of the people that I thought I loved, I really didn't. I just liked them a whole lot. Or I was just in lust. And not until I recently experienced love on a different level that now I can tell the difference between what is love and what is lust, or what is a strong like, or what is just my emotions. And that's why when it comes to sex, it's very important to not be having sex with people before you marry them or whatnot. That's what the Bible says, right? About, you shouldn't. And a lot of times we think, oh, it's so we won't have fun and this and that. But I feel like this a whole nother video when it comes to that. But I want to touch on it briefly because at the end of the day, sex confuses things. It will have you thinking you love a person, but you really just love how they making you feel when they do their thing. Okay? So you have to be careful about that. Or sometimes we kind of get into this compatible type of thing. Oh, would this person be convenient for me in my life or where I'm at now? Where they at financially? Can they give me what I need? So a lot of things is more so about, can a person give me what I need? Or do they fit my vision, my picture? Most of what we know love is more so, is conditional based. It's not because I have a real connection. It's not because a person actually speaks to my spirit on a soul level. And that's the difference between real love and false love. And they look alike, but they totally different. Real love has no limitations. It has no conditions. But fake love and what I say is lust, what I call lust, people that we end up getting with that we really have no real connection with. We just like them and we think that they'll work with our life. They fit our vision. After reviewing their resume, they look good on paper. But like I said, love is it's a certain type of feeling that you get. And I'm not talking about a watered down feeling. I'm talking about something that you connect. Not just mind, body, soul, everything just line up. And it's this unshakable feeling that you just know, just with everything in you, is totally different. And it's not until you actually experienced it that you will know what I'm talking about. And you'll be like, okay, this is not what I thought. I was just crushing on them. Or I was just, it's not that. Because after a while, when they start to frustrate you or when they start to get on your nerves, then you get bored and you go to thinking about other things or you start to entertaining other things. That's how you know you're truly not in love or it's not love, okay? Unless you're just damaged, okay? And I feel like I'm going, into a whole nother lesson. But I just want to touch on it because we're dealing with things of the past. And the true test is just because you have a heartbreak or you deal with certain issues, you don't stop using your heart. You just learn to use your head and your heart equally so you won't become a fool. Especially when you have a good heart, because people will prey on it. People will overutilize it. They will mistreat you and abuse you when you have a good heart. So the goal is just like what God said, above all things else, guard your heart. And you guard it by allowing yourself to use your head as well. And when you use your head, you'll be able to look at the red flags and you'll know, no, this is not love. You will know when a person is using you, or when a person have ulterior motives, or when they are opportunists, or are they really there for you? Or are they really there for what they think you can do for them, or how you can pay a bill, or how you can do this, or being there for their kid, or so y'all can, I guess, make more money and just really just make more money together, okay? And eventually love will come, type of thing. So you have to learn to be mindful of these certain things when you're when you're trying to see what's healthy for you and what's not. Because if we start to use our head as well as our heart equally, then you will be able to see the red flags and you won't regret things or get wrapped up in the wrong toxic relationships. So, with this month, just to do a little recap, you will be tested because a lot of things from the past are coming back up. It's okay to feel it, but just know that there are only emotions that's coming back up from the past because you're about to be tested by that same thing again. So this time, just use your head equally with your heart. So I don't know who is about to enter your life, but like I said, use your head and your heart equally and look at the red flags. And when people show you who they are, you believe it. With that also being said, it's like I said, things can very well come back up. Doesn't mean that you haven't dealt with it. It just means to don't forget about it. So I hope this helped you guys. You guys be blessed.